Hey guys, so today I thought I'd bring you along and show you how to prune indeterminate tomatoes so you could get a better yield and more crops. Also, I wanted to share with you how I do seed saving with my kale plants. Let's get started. So for tomato pruning, you're obviously going to need a tomato plant, some pruning shears, and I like to bring a basket because I'm going to save the suckers, and we're going to talk about that in a little bit. The first thing you're going to want to do is clip the bottom of your tomato plant. You want to make sure all these leaves that are touching the ground are gone because they could bring up disease, and that's not good for the plant. The next thing you need to know is whether or not your tomato plant is determinate or indeterminate. These are indeterminate. That means they will just keep growing until the end of the season, the first frost, or when it just gets too cold. Determinate has a set determination of size, and it will only produce so much, and you don't need to prune them at all. You actually could just leave them alone, which is great. But the indeterminate will have a higher yield, but does require a little bit more maintenance. To reduce the chance of blight, you want to make sure there's enough airflow, and it looks to me as though there is not enough airflow. So you want to get rid of the suckers, and I'm going to show you a little sucker right here. It's like, you see this letter Y almost, and it kind of grows in between. I call that the armpit, and I like to take them all off the armpit. So this one's small enough that you could just pinch it off, and now it's gone. But I've got some that are so big that they need to get pruned with the pruning shears. That guy right there needs to get pruned with the pruning shears. Now this is a sucker, and it's a pretty big guy, but I'm not going to toss it or throw it in compost. What I'm going to do is I'm going to clip the bottom, and I'm going to put it in water, and it will grow a whole new tomato plant. And this will produce a great bumper crop later in the season when the other tomato plants start to dwindle down. Okay, so I have created a little bit more airspace in the top by taking out about 5 suckers. But the middle is still a little dense right there. So even though I got all the suckers out, I'm still going to, I'm going to want more airflow than what I see right now. So I'm going to take out a couple of foliage that is touching each other because that will encourage blight if I keep them there. So I'd say if this leaf is touching all of these, I'm going to get rid of it. And that'll open a lot of airflow right there. And then over here, I'm going to take out this guy as well. And that's going to encourage a lot more airflow. This guy right here, because it's touching this guy right there. And that's pretty much it. There's probably one more right here I could get rid of. And that's all there is to it. Now that has a lot more airflow. It's going to reduce the chances of blight or any diseases, any fungal diseases starting in the leaves. And then it's got its bare feet, which is good. So that is how you prune a tomato plant. And if you see right here, I've got a couple blossoms I'm super excited about. Let's move on to the kale. So this was, I should say, a kale plant. And it has served its purpose. It's served its purpose well. This is a dwarf Siberian kale. And it's now going to be seeds for next year, and in the fall we're going to use the seeds for microgreens as well. So I'm actually going to take the whole plant. The whole thing's gone, it's done. It's actually just space that's being wasted. I can use so many other opportunities in that spot. So I'm going to clip all of these seed pods out, and then we're going to bring them inside and see what we could get. Pardon the rude dehydrator in the background. It's dehydrating some basil I picked earlier. So now that I have a basket of seed pods, what do I do next? Well, what I do is I take a funnel. I have a little Ziploc bag, a tall one. It's actually just easier, I find, anyway. And then I like to sit it upright instead of having it spill everywhere. And I use a funnel so that way, once I put the seeds in here, I'll use this wide mouth base, so that way if anything pops out, it'll hopefully come back into here. But as evidenced by these seed pods from last time, that did not work out so well. So anyway, Then I will dump them in here. I will label the bag, and I've already done this with my red Russian kale. So in case you ever wondered how many seeds one kale plant produces, this is the red Russian kale, and got quite a bit right here. So what will I do now that I have all these seeds? Well, I'm going to make microgreens out of them, and I have a pretty windowsill right over there. There's a little take-out box right there, and there's soil in it, and I'm going to use that as a mini greenhouse to grow microgreens. I could grow that all summer and winter long. I'm going to definitely use these seeds in the fall. They're going to be used extensively to be given away to friends, family, loved ones, whoever wants to grow their own red Russian kale. And the same is going to be said about the dwarf Siberian kale, especially because I have not only one, I have two of these guys. So that is all I have for today. So there you have it, folks. That is how you prune tomatoes, and that is how you collect seeds for kale for next year. And I'm going to go binge watch a ton of episodes of The Office or something, so that way I can get through breaking apart all these kale pods. I hope you guys are encouraged. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you guys can do some of this yourself. My purpose of this is so that way you can have your own sustainability, so that way you could be less reliant on government assistance or on supermarket corporations, and that you can grow your own food. You can do this, and I know you can do this. Thank you. Peace out. Catch you next time.